Prem se bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Sitaram, everybody. Let's all stand as we do invocation and arti. Sajam cha varti sanyuktam grahina yojitam mayam Deepam grihana devesham Trailokyatimirapaham. Jai Jai Bhagwat Bhagwan ki hai aarti. Papiyon ko paap se hai tarti. Jai Jai Bhagwat Bhagwan ki hai aarti. Papiyon ko paap se hai tarti. Ye amar grant ye mukti pant ye pancham vera nirala नव ज्योति जगाने वाला हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही जग की मंगल की आरती. जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती. पापियों को पाप से है तारती. ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत पापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला है. सुख करनी है दुख हरनी है. सुख करनी है दुख हरनी. ये मधुसूदन की आरती. जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती. ये मधुर बोल जग पंड खोल सन मार्ग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला. ये मधुर बोल जग पंड खोल सन मार्ग दिखाने बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला. श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही. श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही. प्रभु की महिमा के आरती. पापियों को पाप से है. जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती. पापियों को पाप से है तारती. गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो. 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 गोविंद बोलो गोपाल बोलो. राधा रमन Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari. Hey Nath Narayana Vas Hey Nath Narayana Vasudeva Govinda Bolo Hari Gopal Govinda Bolo Hari Gopal Bolo Govinda Bolo Hari Gopal Bolo. Together everybody, let's pray. Om Gajananam Bhutaganadisevitam Kapeta Jumbo Umasutam Sho Kavinashkarakam Namami Viganeshwara Padapankajam Sarvamangalamangaliye Shive Sarvarta Sadhike Sharanye Narayani Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Om Namah Shivaya. Everybody. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Everybody please have your seat, make yourself comfortable. To everybody in the temple, if you came in after, Sitaram and cordial welcome. To those of you viewing on the various platforms, wherever you are in this world, welcome to our 12th session in our conversation so far, touching on many things. Bhagwat Mahatyam illustrates how in this age of Kali Yuga, people, Narad Muni is told, people will believe, they will have the devotion. You will hear people boast, I'm a Hindu, I follow my Dharma. A person might boast and say, well, I'm a good Hindu, I have many flags, I have the clothes, I know how to cook the dishes, for example. And people find their own definition for what is a good Sanatanist, or in layman's terms, a Hindu. But according to our text, we are guided that the problem in Kali Yuga, when people say Kali Yuga, the problem is you will follow. You will have that devotion. You will have the inherent belief in something. Somebody asks you, why are you a Hindu? Well, that's the home I was brought up in. That's what my mother teach me. That's what my mother-in-law teach me. I know it this way. I know it that way. Imagine, just for our conversation, I think it was during this time is Shravan, and it's a lot of different things happening. Today's Pradosh. I think Friday is full moon, Raksha Bandhan, Gayatri Jayanti, etc. Monday, when it was the last Monday for the Shravan, many people offer Bailey, for example, but only when we went into the Bilva Ashtakam as part of our conversation, I did ask the question, so what about if I offer a damaged bay leaf to Lord Shiva? As per the Bilva Ashtakam, it says if I offer one damaged bay leaf, the inherent result, the karmic result, how I give, so I get, karma says, I will inherit eyesight problems. For many people after the session, they didn't know that, Rav. So it was a shock. But if you think about it, if in theory I offer the best article or the best item in prayer, I get blessings. But if I offer something substandard, you will get the opposite of blessing. It's just sometimes we don't see or we don't know the ramifications for the things we do. So in that part it says, if I offer one good bay leaf, in this example, it is better than 1,008 tattered, torn, damaged bay leaf. The accountability is precise. And for that reason, when the person knows why they do what they do, and this is echoed in Gita, if you have the knowledge, then the person is able to be stronger or better in their faith. Somebody asks you, I don't belong to your faith, I'm from another religion. Frank comment, why do you put that red flag when you're putting Hanuman flag? Why is the red flag a little taller? Why do you put the red powder? Why do you put the oil, etc.? I don't know. Typical answer, I don't know. The Pandit tell me to do it and diligently I did it. That is all I know. And so far as we have been tackling in our discourses, we've been dealing with some of the reasons why or the origin of some of the things that we do and we practice. This Bhagwat being our third consecutive Bhagwat, we heard that the premise under which Bhagwat is done is to remove sin. Why does somebody have a Bhagwat? By listening, Shravanam, that form of devotion, by listening to the prayer, the person gets the benefit of the removal of the sins. So the hardships, the sickness, the downtrodden, the family problems, the financial problems is eroded as the sins that we all have are eroded. So the person journeys to the place where the Yagyashala, where the prayer is being read, and they learn about their God. And as we've reached into the third of the 12 books of Bhagwat, tonight we continue with this conversation about the history of some of the things that we take for granted. Sukdev Goswami is continuing to speak to Raja Parikshit. Raja Parikshit is the grandson of the fella called Arjun, who is on the copy of the Bhagavad Gita. And he's hearing about the different things about how Lord Vishnu created, and we heard from his body the sickness that people are encountering. It said in a previous verse that this life a person does certain things thinking they will find happiness. The premise under everybody's goal, when I get this, when I achieve that, when I reach to this point, I will find happiness. But Lord Vishnu tells Brahma, it's an illusion, because as you go for that happiness, it'll pull back. And in its place, every step of the way, you will find different pockets of misery. When you think, okay, 33 years down the road, I will get to retire, I'll be happy. I will get this. When I get the house, I'll be happy. The same house becomes a burden. The same family gets sickness. You yourself cannot enjoy the car or whatever asset you were harping. When I get it, I'll be happy. Throughout the life, the person is plagued by different forms of misery. For this reason, O Brahma, there must be a means, a method to overcome it. For that reason, when people have stroke, when they have eyesight problem, circulation problem, the person who is in charge of that portion of the body of Lord Vishnu is Surya. And this is just a recap for who missed that section. For that reason, if somebody came and they said, Hindu, why when you are sitting for prayer and you are facing east, why do you face east? And the answer was, well, Surge Narayan is in the east and he's coming up on the horizon, and I'm praying for the radiation to shine forth, hit my body and remove certain illness. As Brahma was asking the question, Vishnu Baba is giving the answer. Let's enter into chapter 12 of book 3, where that conversation continues. Where, if the person studying their religion, sometimes when we do comparative religion and you want to hear, as we were talking about how in CERN and in different places where atomic science is studied, why Lord Shiva becomes the statue in the courtyard. Why is he, Oppenheimer says, when the first atomic bomb was secured, that now his first pronouncement, I now become the Hindu god of destruction, correlating Lord Shiva's rule to the breaking, the splitting of the atom. Now the person wants to know more. If that Lord Shiva is created for the recycling of the atomic or nuclear matter that goes to form all different types of substrata and structures in the universe, if you're saying God is universal, if in this religion you are talking and accounting for different type of planets, the surface of the sun is described, the magnetism and the effects of the full moon on the water is explained so far. He says, what else did he create? Please tell us. Let's hear what happens as we enter into this first sloka. Jai Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, 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 Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Ititi vartani shayatam shatrakalasta paramatma mahimna veda garbhayate yatasriye sasraye atav jaya bhole baba tab sharanam Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jaya Bhole Baba Tab Sharanam, Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam, Umapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Sukdev Goswami is relating to this person who is going to die, Raja Parikshit, about a conversation that we are joining. We were continuing from earlier and we continue there. He says, O Vidur, brother, step-brother of the blind king Dhritaraj, I have already described to you that one of the primary forms of Lord Vishnu is the cyclic concept of time. That what is going to happen, it happened before. Let me just say Sri Ram came for children to understand, and as time passes, he will come again. The entire concept of what is yug, what is dand, what is pal, in the concept of patra, and considering what is lagna and all these things, all of this. When somebody say for Shivratri night we go in for one pahar. Pahar is roughly 2.5 hours to 3 hours, a concept of calculating time. All that was discussed. He says we have discussed different type of creation. He says Brahma, after creating good sattvic behavior, good habits, healthy habits, created Andata Misra. Andata Misra is tamasic habits now. This type of habit is where a person becomes self-destructive because of the loss of their object of enjoyment. Hinduism does not subscribe to the concept of the devil. Everything comes from God. But in other religions, easy to say good things come from God, bad comes from the devil. I've said it many times. The devil is a busy man. But when you go to a Gita and other texts, and you hear, for example, laziness, lethargy, different descriptions, that is called, fancy word, tamasic, a mode where a person is sedentary and they don't want to get up. Easy example, exam coming, pick up your book, child. Get up, say a prayers for Saraswati. It will help you, knowing that that is the method to get the help. Baba, your belly big, boy, go in the gym. That way of thinking, that mindset, where it come from? Did the devil make it? No, that is part of God. If you say God, you make everything, then everything is everything. So when the person starts to get suicidal thoughts, when the person says, you know what, I'm going to drink liquor because I lost my job, I lost my marriage, I lost my family, I have nothing to live for, and this type of depression creeps into the person's head, that is also part of God's creation. The predominance of anger because you've lost something you enjoy or something happened that your enjoyment had to curtail or stop. You ever see a parent try to tell a child, stop playing your video game in today's world? Stop playing the video game and come and pick up your book. How the child reacts. That is that behavior, and you could put that to adults as well. The sense of right in anything that the person enjoys, regardless. When somebody, for example, they're playing cricket, they're playing golf, and they have to cheat to win. But it's okay if I do it. It's fine, nobody would know. The person is very egotistical, and they cannot realize how they sound, how they speak, how they carry themselves. That behavior, that tendency, that is something that God created. That if a person is very base, very low in terms of their karmic achievements, they have very poor company, their level of conversation, their ability to hold or even in any way do something for somebody else, selfishness. Those type of tendencies also were created. But when Brahma created it, he became very, to use our English word, corrupted. He wasn't happy because of what these things would bring now to his creation. It was as if it would bring some form of corruption. So he thought to himself, it is time now, the entire planet, all the universe, everything is created. It is time to propagate human life. This is after birds, after different type of fish, aquatic life, etc. is maintained. The different cycles of air, water, carbon are already established. The atmosphere is maintained, stabilized because of the intervention, what we've talked before, when the different particles are moving rapidly out of control. Lord Vishnu steadies these things so that solid structures could be formed. In this way now, he makes the first set of sons. In different prayer, we've spoken about these four boys, Sanandan, Sanatan, Sanat Kumar. These are the people who are considered to be his first four, but these four would not take in the bait to go and make children. In fact, the first children tell their father, we are not listening to you. You want us to get married, you want us to have children, and we only want to pray. Something similar to what Ganesh Baba says for the Ganesh itself. Before the Tulsi plant, to recap that for you, if the Tulsi plant is so great, why isn't she a Murti? How come this plant that people rush the leaf when somebody's dying in the hospital, give them Tulsi water to drink? The shaligram has to have a Tulsi in it, otherwise it is incomplete. When the funeral go in, you have to put the wood or the sticks of the Tulsi plant into the fire. All else, that funeral, it is lacking somehow. How did she end up as a bush? Why not a murti then? When she's a young girl, she spends time with her mother and she emulates the mother's prayer. In that home, they are taught that you pray for the other spouse, the other person, not yourself. My job is to pray, in her case, to pray for my husband. Husband's job is to pray for me. So the little child grew up watching. Dear Lord, please bless my husband. Dear Lord, please protect my marriage. Dear Lord, please protect the years of anniversaries that I have. So one day the child says, out of innocence, Mom, well, how come you just only pray for Daddy? How come you don't pray for me? I said, child, you don't pray for the house. You don't pray for the money. You're a queen. It has so many people depending on you for stability. How come you don't pray for the weather? You don't pray for the land. You don't pray for the crop. Where is this? She said, well, I believe it is my duty. If I do my job or my duty based on what God make me, I will find liberation. So in my job as a woman, I believe marriage is so sacred that if I do it properly, I will find my God. So the child emulated that. She says, Mom, well, I want to marry too. What am I waiting on? But the mother says, you're young, 5, 6 years old, where you married in? One day we're going to marry you. The girl put she hand on the lingam and said, the first boy that touched she, I'm married in he. Before she gets married, the mother changed out all the friends now, female, no male to touch. So one day, she tells the mother, going by the Ganga, which is nearby, I'm going to pray. Little girl went throwing stones in the water. Dear Mother Ganga, when will you send my husband? When will you send my husband? And as she's doing that, it so happened, if you ever see Ganesh Baba, he takes different forms, in a blue suit of clothes. He went there by the Ganga to pray to same Krishna. So he dressed in the blue, which is not really done too often. I'll explain that. So when she was walking up, put yourself in that position. I never see a human body, elephant head. She goes and she thought, well, I now ask for a husband. And look, this creature is created. God make this for me. So as per the discourse, she went and she pulled in the ears and she shook in the belly and doing whatever she could do as a child to wake him up from the closed eye state he was in. When he opened his eyes, he said, little girl, child, who is your father? They didn't teach you to interfere with praying people. Leave me alone, let me say my prayers, and I will not put a strap on you. But interfering with praying people does not lead to good. It has consequence. When he closed back his eye and he gone back in his meditation, she went and she picked up Ganges water, which is very cold. Even no matter you see it coming, wherever it had to go, it is so cold. Pick up the water and went and threw it on his face. Listen, big belly boy, I'm the princess for this area, and today is your lucky day. I choose you to get married to. Organize yourself, we're going to get married. Start to laugh. Say, married, that is the worst thing it have. That same Ganesh is do press. That is the worst sin you could tell me. Listen, if God give me time and I get married, I'm going to end up taking that time and have to take care of the spouse and take my life and take care of that person. I don't want that. It have people who would want that. Go and find somebody who is of a like mind. If you are into passion and so on, get somebody who is passionate and you will be very happy. But I is not that person. I want to stay here and do my prayers. She get vexed. If somebody bad talk your dear, any procedure that you believe that this will take me to my God, marriage is not for rudeness in her eyes, it's praise. So she said, listen to me, I'm going to put a strap on you. You are bad talking marriage. You afraid what one lady will do in your life? I put a strap on you, you'll get married to 2. And you see it how read he said, when we doing this somewhere and read he said, data, the 2 wives of Ganesh. All right, you're afraid wedding? I put a strap on you. You see all them wedding from today, you will be on every card. You will be the deuta that is blessed. You see that yellow rice that is put in the card? Ganesh Baba, bless it, hence it come yellow. Whenever you see the Pandit blessing the wedding ring, Ganesh Baba sit on the stones, and when the sun hit the gem and amplifies the wavelength, transform the person from single mindset to a married, committed mindset. Meaning, I have $5 inside my pocket. Do I buy a beer or do I buy a bag of bread? Do I spend my 5 minutes with friends or do I try and focus on my family life? He took it. Said, no problem. Now I'm summarizing. He turns around and he says, it's my turn now. You see, in the course, she says, you should want to marry me. Look at how beautiful I am. And she did she hand like this. According to Karma, in different texts, whenever a person relishes in nakedness, lack of morality, lack of modesty, in your next life, God says, okay, I'll take the soul from this person and I choose you to become the tree. There are many discourses when nakedness has led a person to become or transform to a tree. Stretch your hands now and let all the fruits and private things be on display. So she becomes the plant and she begs, please, please, forgive me. If you leave me as that plant, I will never be able to regain my former stature. Says, all right. I was praying to Lord Krsna and he's very forgiving. One of the things he's notable for is his ability to, recuperate a person, bring them back and show them some mercy. It's called Kripa Raj, or the God of mercy fate. Wherever he comes as the black stone, you will have to be there. In fact, all devatas, when you have parsad, let me say a piece of cloth, or anything, cedar, anything is being gifted. If the tulsi is not there, it is not complete. Your flowers will be the best mala for his murti. Your roots will be the best offering for the funeral which is involved with him. But because of the shrap you just gave me, you will never be allowed in my yagya or my puja. For this reason, when you're doing your prayers home and the person makes the panchamrit, you remember they say, let the pandit put the tulsi leaf. They will offer by Ganesh, and before they go onward to the next devata, they will pop the tulsi in. This is how that happened. If in this example you understand the backstory of some of the things that we do when you bless the ring, when you go for Neuta and you're carrying the rice, consider how much, in this one discourse, how many things we just do and we doesn't understand or relate to why. If a person asks you why, you wouldn't know. In these four fellas now, who are integral in the Tulsi discourse, they tell, in the same way they tell their father, Brahma, we don't want to get married, we don't want to have children, let somebody else do that. Brahma gets angry. And this person, when he gets angry, creates somebody who is very dark, very blue. Let's hear who is coming from his body. He's in a moment. Lord Vishnu, in our previous chapter, had blessed him. I give you my power. Go and create life. Long story short. And this now, somebody upset him. Let's hear what is coming from his body. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Saveru Rudra Devatam Purvajo Bhagavan Bhagya Namani Kurume Datapar Snanani Jagadishwaraye Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita. Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. Ask yourself this question. Remember, we in Bhagavad you learn Gyan Yagna, right? Gyan means knowledge. I have been referring to that Lord Shiva pit here when we spoke about what is the reason that snake is on his neck. There are different things about that form. For example, the tiger skin he's sitting on, the elephant skin he has wrapped around his body, why we offer the ice or cold liquids on the lingam. You're the Hindu. If somebody come and they say, okay, it's Pradosh, I'm offering a dar on the lingam. Why are you bathing the stone? You have other I have Nairo Murti here, I have Ganesh Murti, but you don't take copious amounts of liquid and bathe and bathe and bathe. Sometimes you're lucky if you take a spoon of the Panchamrit and offer it in front of the Murti. And when we hear how that was on fire and it was burning and what it represents, and the person is trying to cool and be logic behind the things we offer, why Nandi is literally blowing the bull on the ground on the opposite side, the person learns about Lord Shiva. Have you ever heard how Lord Shiva is formed? I understand Brahma come, we heard Brahma grow from the navel of Lord Vishnu. But you doing Shiv Puja all the time. Where that come from? Where that form originated? When Brahma gets vexed because of his sons disappointing him, you make your plan, you build something and you expect, okay, at least they will listen. And in that moment, gets very upset, and you could imagine he crinkled forward at a minimum. Something shoots forward out of that area, a very dark form, very muscular, very strong. When it came out and it hit the ground, the earth rocked. And what was noteworthy is that this little boy started to bawl, squeal, temper kind of rage. Brahma turns around, the four sons, Sanak, Sanandan, they are standing there. What are you crying for? What do you want? What would calm you down? What do you need? And he's bawling and just coughing the ground like this. Brahma says, you have to tell us what you want, little one. He says, I want a name and I want my permission. I want my place, my directive forthwith. No, I cannot wait. Brahma says, because you are the one who is crying and making a big ruckus so much that the entire universe is shaking, we will call you Rudra. In your mantras, one of the most deadliest form of Lord Shiva is Rudra. Rudra, then it had things like Rudrani, we'll hear more about it. You will be Rudra. You will be this force that will bring about the destruction or the breakdown or the decay of the atom. If the atom is the substructure of all creation, there has to be a point where the carbon is cycled. The nuclear energy has to have a half-life for it to break down, for energy to be released. And you will be the one to break it. I need a worker. And for that reason, you will be that person. Your placement will be in the heart of people. When, like me right now, when a person is disappointed and their heart is lost in all forms of depression, you will be the one to put the depression there. You will be the one when a person's life has to change from energetic and powerful, capable man, as it is say, strong, like, and then you have to come back like a child, forget the memories, forget or lose the ability to walk. You will be the person to do that. You will be the lead ascetic. When a person wants to become a sage, a yogi, they emulate Shiva. When you hear people journey to Kumbh Mela, who do they look like? I stopped combing my hair, that rasta hair that you think is nice. The man does not care for vanity, doesn't comb the hair, so it becomes matted locks. Lord Shiva is the invigorator, he's the origin of Rastafarian movement. The Rastafarian movement originally up to 1976 in Trinidad was vegetarian. Original Rasta never ate meat. Bob Marley came in Trinidad and he advertised that he's eating KFC. After that, Rasta said, well, we're eating KFC. Look at how things influence, right? He says, from your one form, you will split, because he bowled 11 times. The 11 Rudras were created then. Manu, Mahimnas, Manan, Shiva, the Shiva we know, Ritdwaj, Urga, Rithas, Bhau, Kala, Vamdev, Dritavrat. When people are doing different forms of Shiv worship, for example, you will see on the counter there is Swatik Lingam, that's like the crystal lingam. There's the Kal Lingam, the one we all know, the black one, like in Lakshmi Narayan Temple in Freeport. The Narmada Lingam, the brown one on the counter, the white one, and all it is, different Shiva give you different blessings. When a person is lost in depression, a person will worship the Vama Dev, not Vaman like the dwarf, Vama. That is when Lord Shiva have the five-headed form, the fourth head, the left on the left-hand side. If a person worship that form of Lord Shiva using applicable mantras, a person could lift that heaviness, that darkness off of them. If a lady, for example, is in the throes of menopause and she's fighting all the different symptoms that even the doctor cannot properly define, that Vama Dev prayer, the dryness of the mouth, the lethargy, the vertigo, the different temperature problem, and you are trying to bring it under some control, timadong. When the person does Vama Dev jap, just jap, this person cannot sit by that flame, they cannot take the heat. So they sit comfortable and they sit down and do jap. How does it affect the person? Slowly and surely they can stand up initially without feeling like the room going like this. It is part of the karma. We've said it before, I'll say it again. When God is creating man and woman, how does he know if the soul, according to Gita, is the same? There is no male soul, there is no female soul. How would he know to put the soul into the woman's body or to the man's body? And according to Hindu text, that distinction is based on karma. If the lady is the person who has a little more sin, not much, a little more sin. Now, Pandit will get in trouble for that. People in this age of Kali Yuga tend to argue the perspective that man and woman are equal. But the Hindu argument is this: if you get to the core, the truth, when you compare the man and the woman's body up till puberty, agreed, nearly more or less the same, hormonally the same. But when they are going through puberty, the boy more or less is pain-free. The girl, on the other hand, has pain as her body is becoming fertile. When they go further, as parents, two equal parties, parents both sides, blessing both sides, they get a child. One is a father, no blood loss, no bone loss, no mass loss. The girl, on the other hand, goes through different throes of pain. Till today, when pundits go to do funeral for women, their bodies 10-to-1 burn out faster, because the bone mass is eroding for every child she's making. Where the milk coming from? Is the bone density that is feeding that child. From one skeleton, you make a next skeleton. But the man doesn't lose his bone mass, for example, so their bone takes longer to burn. Fast forward again, menopause reach. We uncle is now still a star boy, still fertile, still everything. Macho man, salt and pepper, gray hair, no pain, no dizziness. Tanti getting heart pain if she get up too fast, if she sit down in the back seat of the car. Menopause will cause different symptoms that the doctors till today misdiagnose. People swear you have a heart attack. People will tell you, drink more water, all type of thing. But nobody could understand the predicament of this thing called menopause. So throughout her journey in life, she is going through different type of pain at different points. The lady never owns her body. According to the text, when you're born, you belong to your father. Who given you a name? The son, on the other hand, owns the name. If he get up tomorrow to offer tarpan, that's his family. You get your father's name, you belong to your father. One day they will deposit you into the husband name. And the third step, when she reaches further, she will be belonging to the son. Baba, I want to come in the present, if my son bring me. The lady has that type of journey. then how could you say the lady and the man is the same when the two of them, from a practical perspective, they go through different experience in this one life? Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. He says, Rudra, for every male form that we just called out, there will be a female. The wives of the 11 are also used in prayer. Some of them in that triangle Pandit have there with all the flags. D, where does, and everybody's talk about D Puja? D is the wife of Rudra. D, Dhriti, Rushna, Uma, Niyut, Sarpi, the snake, Illa, Ambika, Iravati, Swadha, Diksha, and the last one, Rudrani. With your wives, when people invite you, do not allow them to cry. Do not cause death. Do not cause destruction. Do not cause trouble. So when you see people are inviting Shiva, and then you will see the ladies in those flags, representative of those flags, do not cause disruption. The people trying to do a little prayers, don't let the food spoil. Don't let, for example, sickness. Sometimes when people don't do that triangle prayers properly, people get really sick. They get burnt in the kitchen. Havoc, different things to throw off the prayer in different ways. Different places, people cutting up shatine, they will cut the finger, blood. Now they cannot offer, just as the woman, if her monthly cycle comes and she does not move forward with the prayer, if a man cuts his finger and blood is running, inflammation is oozing, he is unfit to do the same prayer. During COVID, you saw a funeral with one person, not 5. How come? You really need one. The other 4 are backup. The first fella, if he gets cut, if he gets diarrhea, if he gets a cold, when they make the big fuss, don't go outside after 6. Videsh, you will get them trouble. When you say, okay, I go outside, no jumbie, going and follow me. It's not jumbie. They cut off your hair and your scalp is exposed. And if that dew, which does affect some people, causes mucus to run, you are not fit to do the prayer on behalf of the other person, the deceased. So now the main person has to sidestep. And the second guy, the third guy, the fourth guy steps in. If there is none of this, it just means, for example, it does cause trouble because the people in India only do it with one person. How come? If you go to Dubai, they only have one person. They don't even walk around the box. They just walk on the side, forward, backwards. So there are major differences. How come in this example, how come one person is sufficient? It could be done. We did it in COVID. It's just you don't have anybody to help you. There's nobody to assist. Prem Sabolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Instructed like this, Rudra takes his strength and temperament generated in this way. He says, when it is time, don't go. Rudra was ready to destroy everything in a moment. He says, wait, when the time, you have to let Kali Yuga finish. And then in Kali Yuga, in this time, you will start to break down things very quick. Start with the lifespan of people. Start with the cycles that run in the environment. When you are acting, you as God, you will interrupt the cycle. So the water cycle will cause, when it's disrupted, you will see drought propping up in places that were once green. And where was dry is now green. The environment, by your influence, will go through throes. The temperature, the environment in terms of land height, land movement, you will disrupt it, and that will affect predator-prey relationship. You will destroy the ecosystem where a person could get food. For this reason, in Kali Yuga, there will be rampant starvation, sickness that will rob a person of their health, life, livelihood. In this age of Kali Yuga, where a person had stability, take away that stability. Instability will be the prominent cause. Whether you look at financial instability, health instability, family instability, political instability, it is rampant. He says, Shiv, you will be the force that will cause these things. This will be your effect. Whether you look when in Ramayana, Kakbushun, for the people who know the Uttarakhand, Kakbushun tells Garud, in this life you are like the person is like a soldier. Your bhakti is the little armor you have on your chest to protect you. Your willingness to fight, to face your trouble. Your trouble is all the enemies, the gossip, the sickness, the trouble, the court case, different things that come attacking you on a day-to-day basis to overrun you, to take your happiness, your health, your family, whatever you want to call it, you're under attack. And as Kali Yuga is progressing, the attacks come from internal sources as well. The person will fight at different height of mental problem, mental instability, cancer, growth, cysts, different forms of problem, genetic and otherwise, will be on the rise. If everybody is related genetically, if they say everybody comes from Africa and spread throughout the world, and different phenotypes or different, hairstyles, eye colors, etc., existed because of time difference, then where does this amount of cancer come from? Where does the properties of the sickness that we are getting now, where does it come from? Brahma says the person's choices will also affect. Remember what we said in the beginning? The person will be willing to kill themselves. The person chooses unhealthy food, unhealthy stuff, addicted to different things, and they don't want to stop it. For example, years ago, I was the manager in this bottled water factory. And the bottled water factory, read your bottled water when you go home, they tell you, do not store the bottled water in direct sunlight. So what happens if the water is in direct sunlight? The temperature is causing a reaction, and the plastic is leaching into the bottle. So if you leave the bottled water, for example, in your car, after the whole day of sun and sun and sun and sun, the same bottle starts to get a different texture, crispy. You will hear it crickle and crackle, it getting soft. Something happened and the plastic went into the water. When you drink it, it is considered a carcinogenic. It is considered cancer causing. All these soup was such in like them microwavable soup. Oh, you have to have the how you just call it, ramen soup. When we want to get up late in the night and eat, mommy could tell them what they eat in the soup. Read the ingredients. It have known traces of things that cause or affect your body in a negative way. The quality of the food that we expose ourselves to now is of a different nature. But you have to have it. That is the property. You know why? To eat unhealthy is very cheap. And to eat healthy is very expensive. It seems as if it is back to front. It seems as if the system, when people talk about the pharmaceutical industry, not only here, but in other places, seems as if it is sucking the life out of the person. You're the cow and somebody is milking you every day. More sick you get, better for you. Longer you remain sick, more money for us. Lord Shiva will propagate the person. These things will be readily available. Different things. The idea to get healthy is harder. The idea to get addicted to something is very easy. Different things will affect the person. Colors. Hear what it say here. Colors. If somebody asks you, last night somebody asked me, if it's wrong to wear black. I'm going to pray. I'm going to do the prayer. You're the pundit. Should you wear black or should I not wear black? The problem with black does not exist. It does not originate in Hinduism. Black is bad in other religion. In our religion, black represents the creative power of Kali and Lord Shiva, same Shiva, where we're talking about here now. The problem with a color is blue. Blue, he says, I could tell you that quote is, I can't remember what Upanishad. He says, in the creation, I create blue for illusionary things. The blue sky, you go in whatever plane, you'll never find blue. Blue water in the ocean, it is never blue. For this reason, I reserve it for that. When the Hindu dress the place, like how you see outside, the flowers, The reds, the yellows, the energy in the color is what the person is holding. Let the sunlight charge. So when I wear it, let it reverberate with me. When you sit with prayer and you do white, white has all the colors in the frequency. So when now he's talking about this, have you ever realized in the world you live in, the power of marketing? Go in the restaurant. What color is the tablecloth? Pundit and it red, 10-1. What's the color of Pizza Hut, KFC, Mario's, anyone you choose? The sign, red. In marketing, the person uses things that influence you to eat. Red tells the person, eat, eat more, eat again, eat again, eat. Why don't you see blue signage for food? So the person now is using it. The president of America uses a red tie to influence the person that I will give you confidence. You trust somebody when they wear red. In the local political circle, they use red. We are strong. We are red. We are ready. People are using things to influence you, but you are none the wiser. People use songs, they use different frequency. We use a frequency when you ring the bell to ward off bad. But people use different things to influence the person. And that has been going on for some time. You will be the cause of this influence. And in order for a person to rise above it, the person has to know how to switch off the distractions. Use different methods of focus or discipline to walk away from the tests or the different type of attacks that will face the person. Where in previous time people could have fasted for long period, expansive period of time. In this age, the person's lifespan is cutting down. Their ability to fast will cut down. Their mindset to fast will slowly dwindle. The person would not be able to even fast from speech. One of the things that we offer to Lord Shiva, and we heard it about the son of Sukdev Goswami, he develops the prayer method where you practice a vow of silence. If I don't have money and I cannot afford the milk, okay, what am I going to offer? If I have a stroke and I cannot hold a flower in my hand, what could I offer? Lord Shiva is the person who is very flexible, and he says, sit quiet. But the person now suffering from different type of mental problem cannot even stay put. They have to rock, they have to move. There will be different diseases plaguing the person, and they would not be able to sit still to focus like in a posture, like how he's folding his foot. When you hear somebody says Sukh Asan, if you go when Pandit is offering the dar for the Shiva and you see how they take the right foot on the ground, left foot is kind of kukre or like a figure four, the whole foot is by the knee. It is here to demonstrate the posture. How am I going to do the posture if I have no balance or my body cannot stop from rocking like this? So you can't do it. When I want to stay quiet now, Mount Vrat, that offering, I can't do it because I can't stay quiet. I have to talk, I have to communicate, I have to text, I have to check my phone, I have to send a voice note. This is important, more important than everything else. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. You are going to do these type of destruction, and if the person perseveres and rise above it, then they would achieve the blessings that they are working for. From his body, after dealing with Lord Shiva, he goes, different sons, Narad Muni and others started to come out from his body. For example, Vashish Muni came from his thumb. That Vashish is the guru of Sri Ram, for example. Vashish Muni is the fellow who writes the Patra book, one part of it. Parashar did the other side. They are the people who decide and designate different methods of how a person can overcome karma. In this way, they started. Kashyap Muni is the person who makes fathers, Garud, Aruna, who is sitting in front of Surya, the charioteer. All the snakes that we see, came from Kashyap. Life starts to expand. Whilst doing this, something significant comes from the back of Lord Brahma. All forms of unrighteousness, unrighteous behavior, unrighteous speech comes from the back of the Creator. From his chest came covetousness, from his eyebrow came false speech, false accusation. From his excretory organ, different disease came. From his private came sexual, criminal activity, out of control sexual desires, etc. And in this way, he started to create different things that were of a negative nature. One of the sons, Marich, comes and tells him, Dad, you can't do this. You cannot only propagate bad. What will happen? And he tells him, this is what will be needed. These are the weapons that we will use in the age of Kali Yuga. When somebody says it is the dark age, these things will be proficient. This is why Yudhishthira does not want to be around when Kali Yuga comes in. Feeling ashamed, however, from the foremouth of Brahma comes what we call the Vedas. In that moment, that if a person is plagued by these bad things, unrighteous behavior, etc., that I just created, let them use the herbs in the Ayurveda. Let them use the mantras, the music. Let them use the hymns. Allow them to use the different type of structure that are in the Veda, and it will guide the person to overcome it. So when the son saw it, he says, what is music? What is that? He's questioning every single thing. Don't get me wrong. But after talking about the Havan, what is the political science? What is the architect science for Vishwakarma, etc.? What are all these things? What is each one telling me? He reached to the art of what is called music. He says, the Hindu scale, when somebody hears Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Dha Ni, Sadajja, Rishab, Gandharva, Madhyam, Panchamam, Divata, Nishad. These are the long names for what we call Sa Re Ga Ma. If the person manifests or practice, they master these 7 notes or the Sadajja, the person using the energy in the sound waves is able to conjure or call different forms of divinity. A person can achieve forgiveness by singing a bhajan. If a person uses kirtanam and they use the proper intonation, or when you take breath, it will become precise methodology so that you don't have to do the prayer, but I'm singing something that will be very effective in getting forgiveness and protection from different forms of unrighteousness or unrighteous people. It would be very, very effective if the person could call on those notations when in trouble. What a wonderful creation, dear Father. He goes on to create things like speech, om, different types of things that you and I take for granted. He says when a person uses the grammatical correct language and they communicate things like stories and carry forth the feeling, it is gifted to some people that they will manifest the truthfulness, the effectiveness of that story through words, leading to things like cinema and different types of creation. When this was done, he says it is now time to create human life. And he creates from his body the first man and the first woman. Manu, from his left side comes Satrupa, and Manu is the first male from the right hand side. When somebody talks about in Hinduism, how does mankind get started? In the similar method as you hear in Egyptology, as you hear in Christianity, where the first man and first woman. But for the purpose of genetic diversity, it also talks about other families mixing from Dutch and the other sons that he had. Brahma says, if you all do your job and do your diligence, my creation, this experiment of life, will flourish. But as time will pass, every cell will be destroyed by Shiva. Remember that, and the person who tries to appease him will be protected from him. Principal Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. For this reason, when somebody really says God create everything, what this chapter is just showing you, and this is just one chapter, that everything is just sometimes we don't have the gyan or the knowledge of the things that we do. If somebody says, well, why you do Shiv Puja, I really don't know. But if I understand the link for the destructive side of Shiva in my day-to-day life, that is why I just try and offer him sweet things, so that karma says, how I give is so I will get. I'm giving you sweet things, dear God. Please be merciful and give me sweet times. This is why he is called Mrityunjay of all the forms. If I call him, he has the ability, if death is imminent, the person is in the hospital and the doctor is saying, well, person may not make it. The family still with faith will go and do Triambakam, Yajamahi, and call in that mantra, dear Lord Shiva, you have the ability to reverse death. The person is in crisis, the person is in surgery, the person is in a coma. Please spare this person. And there are many instances, I'm sure people here could talk, where prayer works, and what was supposed to be detrimental and fatal turns out to be different. The person gets up as if nothing happened. God bless some people, they have a change in their perception of life and time. Unfortunately, not everybody is there yet. They go back to their misdemeanor ways in some cases. In text, you have people like Ravan, Kalnemi, Rahu, who we call a spiritual imposter. The person uses prayer and spirituality like how me and you use paracetamol. When you have a headache, you take the tablet, you start to feel good. When you're done, throw away the tablet. Me, I need it anymore. I'm no longer sick. In spirituality, you will come across people who understand the role of prayer in the fight of life, and then you will see people who use prayer in the fight of life. And when there's no fight, when things are hunky-dory, they don't need it. They don't need to know the mantra. What the choice, remember we were talking about choice. In everything, go left, go right. Wear the red kurta, wear the yellow kurta, whichever you prefer. Life is about choices. When you make the choice, you have to live with the consequence, is what karma says. Prem Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Earlier today, before we wrap up, the SWRHA spent the day collecting blood from donors. Whilst we read and sang here, the head nurse from San Fernando, together with 5 of her trainees, phlebotomists, etc., 3 doctors were in the back here, and 2 were in the bus on the road. And donors of different race, not only Indian, not only Hindu, but people came because there is a blood crisis in Trinidad. There's a major crisis. If people have to go and do stent in the morning, they are telling you as of today, wait until Monday. However, you are 99% blocked in your arteries, and you need at least 5 to 6 bags. And the going rate for a bag of blood, and I'm saying it, because when we go and we walk on the ward, Pundit may know what to do, I don't know how to find the money. 7 bags is what the doctor saying we had to get. We had 2 stents to put in. 1 stent is $150,000 for one. When they go in, if they see anything else, well, they'll add to that. But 7 bags of blood, 1 bag in Mount Hope is $1,500. In San Fernando is $1,200. If you have AB plus or AB negative, $2,500 per bag, because of the scarcity of that type of blood. Hindu people, I can't speak for anybody else, Hindu people get accustomed, this is praise. We come and we say, Lord Shiva, bless me, gimme, grab. Lakshmi Mata, give me money. Saraswati Mata, help me to pass the exam. Lord Shiva, give me protection, safeguard me. But is there a moment where you could help somebody else? In our prayers, they don't have that, but then be the sick karma, boy. Do and give and help and whatsoever. I remember when we started to do hamper drives and give hamper, people told me you could only give a seeder to a pundit, then you'll get blessing. We can support that same Hindu people. And when everybody to see me, if you know me, I just talk straight. If I had a cuss, I telling you, I will cuss. Sorry. I will call my pundit on them and ask them, you would prefer the dal and red bean get weevil and rotten on your table than help hungry people? After 2-3 blows with some pundits, truthfully, me align, we established now, minimum 250 hampers, normal. And people have grown accustomed coming by us. I do very little. See them children who cooking and making parsad. This morning, when you get parsad this evening, Veer made parsad, 5-year-old Veer. Kevin and Ashley Veer. The children are doing and they're learning and they're training. And I'll see about a post this morning where they're making sada roti. Just now Jenna will come and she will make roti for we. God bless you. When we started to do clothes drive, that was strange. When we started to do beach cleanup, all the Hindu people like to go and throw all kind of thing in the water. The other night we was talking about that pundit. Some pundit down Pinal go on to throw the thing in the river when they finish the prayers and thought necessary to throw the bag too. And somebody tell the pundit about it. And he get vexed with them. But do the prayers for the river. That's God. That is divine. Call the water inside the Khalsa and then go and pollute the river with everything. Never make time. One day. Once we went, I think, Church Road in Mayaro. And between, not to say one street to the next street, halfway, where you could walk. If we make up, I think, 52 garbage bag, a jumbo garbage bag of rubbish in that little space of beach. Hindu people does nothing, but they want everything. So in different ways, we need to change. Could we give blood? Baba, me have money. I can afford to buy rice, dal, sugar. Fine. You could help save a baby who need blood. You have blood. You have extra blood. Every 4 months, you could give. You could help. When people have children, just like how you value yours. When these people children are breeding their last, they cannot keep up the blood count. And they are glad for your child blood or your blood as an adult. You could save and make a difference. Help save that child. Trust me, you'll get the blessing. When you do good, good will follow you. Tomorrow they're coming from 9 in the morning to 5 in the evening. And for all the people that took part, pundits came, everybody come, all walks of life this morning. And more coming tomorrow. We go start small. The lady was shocked when she see how many people turned out. And I think we did 25, I'm not sure. I thought that was very small. She says, we do not have 25 bag of blood right now in the whole of San Fernando General. 25 bag will save 25 life. That is big. That will keep somebody alive tonight when they've hooked them up, when they don't do the testing or whatsoever. If you feel, maybe I don't have the cash, but I want to help somebody, get into a mindset where you could add value. Stop being selfish. I am not saying give away your kidney. I am saying help. There are people in the States that will donate physical here, to people who do not have here. For example, cancer patients, where people make wigs to help ladies just feel normal when they go for chemotherapy. That doesn't require money. Is an example of a little maybe ingenuity for that you to create some way, a way to help somebody feel better. When we go and we share food, like all San Fernando on the high street, to encourage children, listen, you get your education, you get your big job, that's nice. What are you going to do with it? Nobody teach you morality. Everybody teach you, go home, take up your book, get your certificate. When you get the certificate, the money is there. Good. What to do now? There's no balance for Hinduism. Hinduism is one group that does not preach or push. You achieve great things. Use it to help, to give back. And in that way, you'll even get more. Tomorrow, if you would like to help, when they finish, if you are not giving the blood, you're afraid, I understand, fine. Come and see what it is. See what it takes, what it entails. There are certain things I can't record on a camera because of the rules. I have to abide by their rules. Come and see for yourself. They allow you to walk in and see what is happening. Maybe not this time. Next time you want to take part, fine. Get involved. Come and help a tanti walk down the hill or walk up the hill. Do your part. Help take out food. Me telling you cook the food. Come and do them children taking over the kitchen. We have nothing to do for the whole day now. I hope all you enjoy the food. Where they cook this evening? When you get a ball, tell me. Have a ball in your food. Not press food and thing, you know. Plantain ball in some kind of Indian sauce. You check it out. Tell me how it goes. But different. Principle of Mahapati Mahadevaki Jai. Everybody with your permission, let's all stand as we do final arti this evening. You know you could do that. No. Sajam cha Varti sanyuktam grahina yojitam mayam deepam grihana devesham trailokya timirapaham jai jai bhagavat bhagavan ki hai aarti. जय जय भागवत भगवान है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेद निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही हरि ज्ञान यही जग की मंगल की आरती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत पापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी ये मधुसूदन की आरती जय भागवत भगवान की ये मधुर बोल जग पंड खोल सन मार्ग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही श्री राम यही प्रभु की महिमा के आरती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती। Shri Krishna Govinda Hari Murari, Shri Krishna Jainath Narayan Vasudeva, Jainath Narayan Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jai Jai Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Let's pray together, everybody. Dear Lord, on this Pradosh Day, thank you for allowing us to hear from the holy pages of the Bhagavad this prayer, this book, this compendium, just by listening, just by practicing Shravanam, listening prayer where you just come to hear, has the effective blessing of eroding the sins that is causing the trouble in each person's life. Thank you tonight if I never heard where Lord Shiva comes from, where Rudra gets his name and his purpose. How does he really become the destroyer? How does he get this way, this look tonight on this Pradosh where the Shravan is wrapping up in this Yagya? Thank you for affording me the opportunity to gain that type of knowledge. May you allow me to utilize this knowledge time and time again. May you give me the memory or the smaranam to recoil and recall this information when necessary, when plagued with problems. Dear Lord, for all these children that are cooking, cleaning, maintaining this temple, for all the people that brought flowers, fruits, all the different chow they're making, for all the different contributions that people have and are doing, for the people that are even giving their blood for that other people could live, that families could sleep tonight, knowing that the pediatric ward is being supported with blood from Bhagwat Yagna. Dear God, there isn't a prayer, a blessing that I could or anybody could see that will counteract or compare to the tears that the mothers that are crying in the cardiac ward out of gratitude tonight for the sacrifice that these people have made. God, all I could say, if my words have value, if our prayer have any value, please bless these people for all that they have done and continue to do. Encourage them, give them the strength to get up and find a way to make a difference. Dear Lord, please hear our prayers. We separate tonight. Allow each and every person to reach to their home. For those viewing in different places, for the people watching us tonight from the hospice in Plantation in Fort Lauderdale, God bless you and may you recoil from the losses you just incurred, the debt that you saw. Bless you to heal by the grace and the touch of Lord Shiva. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva cha saka tvameva Tvameva vidya Tvameva sarvam mama dev Tvameva sarvam. Together. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Prem se bolo Mahapati Mahadeva ki, Pawana Putra Hanumana ki, Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki, Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai, Satya Sanatan Dharma ki Jai. Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram everybody.